Welcome to Civ 6 Stories, where we explore alternatives to history through the lens of the world's most addictive video game. Games are played on deity, no challenges. Generally, I don't use mods or game modes except for Sucretax Oceans. A great game is epic and tells a story. It has a history, all condensed down into 20 minutes. Along the way, you can learn tips and tricks on how to be a better Civ player, as well as strategies on how to play specific civilizations. In my previous video, I played as Lincoln of America and was beaten by Persia, who, although their empire was on the verge of total collapse, won a culture victory. Obviously, I could not quit on the Great Emancipator altogether, so in this episode, we explore another alternative to this history where I play as Lincoln of America. Just a quick note that, although I rarely play with any of the game modes on, the Barbarian Clans mode was enabled for this game. We founded our capital next to the only 2 food 2 production tile visible over quite a vast area. In 3720 BC, we met Zhao of Portugal. Zhao is never a leader to be feared. Good boost of early confidence. In 3560 BC, after discovering animal husbandry, we learned that we founded Washington over a horse's resource. That also helps. In 3240 BC, we met Qin Shi Huang of China. In 3000 BC, America founded the city of Baltimore. And moments later, we met Gorgo of Greece. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation unique ability nerfs plantations and provide -2 loyalty. In 2640 BC, without considering this and seeing the opportunity to build several plantations in our surrounding environment, we chose Goddess of Festivals as our pantheon. In 2120 BC, America founded its 3rd city, Charleston, at the edge of a desert and the foot of the Delaware River, as a way to secure iron resources for its young empire. For the classical era, we chose the Free Inquiry dedication. In 1800 BC, Zhao wanted to know why our troops were headed toward his territory. There's only one answer. Greedy for gold to upgrade our melee units to swordsmen, we sold some of our excess horses to China for gold. In 1640 BC, American warriors stormed into Evora and took the city. You want to be friends, Gorgo? Okay. That's a lot of gold. Thank you. In 1240 BC, Qin Shi Huang, just like Zhao before, came to us asking about our advancing troops. The answer should have been obvious. America's first target was the city of Chengdu. By 1080 BC, China already had medieval technology as they showed off their crouching tiger, who raced to Chengdu's defense. But they could not arrive in time to save the city, and it was captured by America that year and then razed to the ground. In 825 BC, after discovering political philosophy, America was able to choose its Tier 1 government and became an oligarchy. By 675 BC, China had brought their counteroffensive toward Baltimore. The core of our army had swung northward toward Portugal with the aim of taking Viseu. That year, America's northern army succeeded. Also that year, America became suzerain of Wolin. For the medieval era, once again we chose the Free Inquiry dedication. In 600 BC, Zhao and Qin Shi Huang joined forces in a military emergency with the aim of taking back the city of Evora. In 500 BC, being suzerain of Wolin paid off as, after killing a crouching tiger unit, America was able to recruit its first great general, Boudica. The military emergency was targeting us, but China had their hands full as the Greeks and Americans were united in the hatred of the Chinese. Coveting the vast tea resources in the area, in 50 BC, America founded the city of New York over the ruins of Chengdu. In 50 AD, after killing another crouching tiger, America was able to recruit its second great general, Ethelfled. By 150 AD, America emerged victorious in the military emergency against it. Both China and Portugal came to us hoping to end the war. They both offered lucrative peace deals to which we agreed. 10 turns is not a long time to wait. In 200 AD, Americans set sail for the first time, ensuring that we would not descend into a dark age. In 275 AD, now in a period of peace, America decided to change its government to an autocracy. In 325 AD, we decided to hitch our wagon to Gorgo's star and entered into an alliance with the Greeks. For the Renaissance era, we chose the Monumentality dedication. For all of its faults, the AI knows me like I know it, and they sense right when I'm about to invade. Zhao is no fool, but there is little he will be able to do. In 425 AD, we enlisted Auckland's help and levied their troops to make the initial assault on Portuguese cities. In 560 AD, with our discovery of divine right, America chose its first Tier 2 government and became a monarchy. In 580 AD, American forces captured the Portuguese capital city of Lisbon. With the Portuguese army running scared, American troops rushed in and took the city of Coimbra, pushing back the Portuguese into the northern tundra. In 800 AD, feeling good about progress in the war against Portugal, with our troops already advancing towards Chinese cities, we affirmed Qin Shi Huang's suspicions and declared war. In 880 AD, American troops captured the last Portuguese stronghold of Faro and eliminated Zhao and the Portuguese from the game. In 920 AD, America continued to expand its own borders by founding the city of Philadelphia. In 1020 AD, the desert city of Charleston built the great wonder Petra. And just 20 years later, the American city of Washington completed the Terracotta Army. We entered the industrial era in a golden age and shows the heartbeat of steam dedication. In 1110 AD, America recruited the great engineer Leonardo da Vinci, earning our Enlightenment civic boost in the process. Fearing the strength of the fortifications of China's capital, Xi'an, American troops shifted their focus by assaulting China's allied city-state, Mitla. Laying siege to the city, America captured Mitla in 1190 AD. In 1200 AD, to celebrate their victory in the war against the Portuguese, America built Huiteocalli in the cold water of the north near the city of Viseu. In 1220 AD, crossing the Iapetus Ocean, we met the first of our cross-continental rivals, Harald Hardrada of Norway. Our enemies were unable to restore Lisbon to the Portuguese, and America was the beneficiary of that failure. In 1230 AD, while sailing along the edge of the New World, we met Simón Bolívar of Gran Colombia. During our continued exploration of the New World in 1240 AD, we met Jayavarman VII of the Khmer. Putting Jiao Dong under siege, American forces captured their first Chinese objective in 1270 AD. That same year, while exploring the New World, we met Robert the Bruce of Scotland. Learning the history of the Khmer and the Scots, it was clear that their shared history was not a peaceful one. In 1310 AD, America built the Apadana in the city of Washington. By 1340 AD, America was feeling pretty strong. Gorgo of the Greeks wanted to know just how strong we felt we were. Strong enough, Gorgo. Strong enough. After nearly 100-year siege, American troops stormed the Chinese capital and captured the city of Xi'an in 1440. With China no longer a threat, it was time to turn the war effort upon the Greeks. When China offered a profitable peace deal, we accepted it. In 1460, America built Mont Saint-Michel in the city of Charleston. The peace treaty with China did not last long, as that same year, they and the Greeks joined forces in a military emergency to restore Xi'an to China. In 1480, America built Chichen Itza in the city of Baltimore. For the modern era, we chose the heartbeat of steam dedication. In 1500 AD, America simultaneously recruited two great people, the great Admiral Francis Drake and the great engineer James Watt. In 1505, America completed Kilwa Kisawani in the city of New Orleans. In 1515, continuing its wonder-building spree, America built the Taj Mahal in the city of Washington. In 1535, America introduced the steam-powered sailing ship to the world. The only problem facing America at this stage was that their army had grown so large and had been in use so long that the budget began running a serious deficit that, left unattended, could cripple the economy. After taking a moment to plug in the levée en masse policy card and restructure the economy, America was back in the black. It lasted about half a turn. In 1540, we clued into the fact that a barbarian clan had risen to become the independent power of Nan Madol. We had collected some unspent envoys and became their suzerain, boosting our culture by almost 25% from 164.6 per turn to 204.6. Nan Madol, I love you. In 1545, one of America's brave apostles added to the world's maps and was the first to prove that the world was round. Although Corinth and the core of Greek cities were the real prize, the American army concentrated its early expansion efforts by assaulting the Greek allied city-state of Vatican City, which they captured in 1560 AD. In 1580, America built the Colossus in the city of New Orleans. That same year, we showed the world our artillery unit, and everyone was simultaneously very impressed and depressed. Also that same year, we showed off to the world that you could combine sailing ships and form fleets. You could kind of feel the panic around the world setting in. In 1585, America built the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus in the former city-state of Mitla. In 1590, hoping to pillage riches from exotic lands, America declared a formal war against the Khmer. In 1595, America recruited the talents of Robert Goddard. In 1600 AD, American forces began to make headway in the fight against the Greeks by capturing the city of Sicyon. Having a spy with the technologist promotion unable to run the Steel Tech Boost operation on anyone is a satisfying feeling. By 1630, we had successfully defended Xi'an from the coalition forces of the Greeks and Chinese. As a result of their failed military emergency, Qin Shi Huang came to us to make peace. Since we were more pressed attacking Greek cities, for now, we accepted their offer. By 1635, with the invasion of Greece in full swing, American troops captured the city of Olympia, With our stockpile of saved envoys, and because of its strategic position on the edge of the Greek Empire, we decided to become suzerain of Rapa Nui as a way to more easily penetrate deep into Greek territory and mount an assault on Pharsalus. Looking at the leaderboard, and Greece now crumbling apart under the mounting pressure from our advancing army, was still leading the pack. Soon, it would be America. In 1640, with the discovery of class struggle, America chose its Tier 3 government and decided to flirt with communism. I always say that the World's Fair is a great barometer of how you're doing in the game. In 1645, we beat out our chief rival, Gorgo, and took gold tier rewards. It was a difficult decision, but for our Tier 3 government plaza building, we decided to build the Royal Society. The road to Pharsalus was fraught with peril, but American troops flooded through Rapa Nui, attempting to evade the city's defenses. America had melee units to spare, though most of them were by now obsolete. Still, they got tossed into the meat grinder and beat down the defenses. Finally, in 1690, American troops broke through and captured the city. Gorgo and the Greeks were no pushovers, and America were forced to grind away through their incursion. By 1705, America had lost control of Pharsalus. The talents of James Watt were on full display, helping the war effort as he produced 2 infantry units, a workshop and a factory in Vatican City, with one of his 2 charges. With American forces entrenched in positions around Pharsalus, lobbing artillery on nearby Eretria, American armor broke through the lines and captured the city in 1715. Enemy spies were hard at work, neutralizing American governors, making conquered cities that much more difficult to control. After overshooting our era score requirements by over 65 points, we entered the atomic era in a golden age, meaning that we now expected to hold our gains in Greek cities. For the atomic era, we chose the heartbeat of steam, dedication. From this position of political strength, American forces retook the city of Pharsalus. Although we had used many of our spare envoys to become suzerain of Rapa Nui and used their territory to invade the Greeks, their population now impacted the loyalty of our new cities. It was time for them to become part of America. 99% of the time, that only happens one way: by force. In 1730, Eretria flipped to free cities. In 1735, American troops captured Rapa Nui to press their influence in the region. Across the world, the Khmer had begun their own invasion of Scotland and were making an assault in the Scottish capital city of Stirling. Although battleships had been slowly lobbing shells at Preah Vihar for centuries, after a while Khmer leadership sent over air support, and since we were only firing on it for experience, this new method of defense prompted a retreat. In 1755, American troops recaptured Pharsalus. It was a bloody siege that cost many lives, but in 1765, American troops, continuing their advance into Greek territory, captured the city of Athens. As amusing as it is to use Shah Jahan to build wonders, it doesn't always work out to one's benefit, as cutting down our build time of the Eiffel Tower by a measly 12 turns, we bankrupted our economy. In fact, our economy got so in the red that the situation became a bit dire. Pillaging became absolutely necessary just to keep the government propped up. Thank God for barbarian clans. Becoming suzerain of Cahokia got us out of a real mess. In 1775, American troops recaptured Eretria. After launching shells on the Khmer mainland, the American Navy turned its efforts to the unprotected Cambodian allied city-state of Taruga. When the Khmer lost suzerainty of the city in 1780, America declared war on the city-state to keep up the assault. In 1795, we won the military emergency against us to free Olympia, but we lost control of Athens. We had been at war with the Khmer for centuries. Initially, it had been a war with an aim of pillaging resources, but those days were far behind, and busy subduing the Greeks on our home continent, our armies had never made a meaningful assault in the Khmer. Jayavarman offered us a profitable peace deal, which we accepted. That year, American forces took a major step forward in the war against the Greeks by seizing the capital city of Sparta. America now controlled the pyramids. In 1802, the American army recaptured Athens. In 1806, the Greeks and Chinese, who we had been at war with for millennia, united in their declaration of a military emergency against us to take back Sparta. Unfortunately for them, none of the new world powers joined in. Continuing their invasion of Greece, American forces captured the city of Argos in 1812. In 1814, after refusing numerous great scientists, America finally said yes to recruiting the talents of Stephanie Kolek. In 1816, after centuries at the doorstep, American soldiers finally walked into the mighty city of Corinth. It was a military victory that would break the back of our enemies and open the entire continent. With Greece's core cities no longer able to provide support to their satellite towns, smaller targets like Mytilene fell quickly. We desperately wanted to recruit Carl Sagan to help with our space race efforts, but as of 1820, we were way behind. By the 1820s, bombers and rocket artillery were now on the scene, which made the American conquest of the Old World much easier. In 1824, they helped American forces capture the Greek-controlled former city-state of Nagasagarmu. In 1826, American troops captured Knossos. In 1828, for perhaps the first time in my life, I built the Panama Canal. Its construction was going on in New York for so long that I had kind of forgotten it was being built and was surprised when it finished. Look how pretty it is. That same year, American troops captured the city of Ephesus. In 1832, American engineers built the Eiffel Tower in the city of Philadelphia. American forces pillaged the entirety of the Great Wall surrounding Shenyang and then captured the city in 1834. It was the first American capture of a Chinese city in almost 400 years. Moments after capturing Shenyang, American troops captured the independent but Greek-allied city-state of Armagh. Soon after that, the American Navy captured Mycenae. In 1836, America added the Greek city of Rhodes to its empire. 1838 was a big year for America. First, it launched its Earth satellite. Later that year, American troops captured the Chinese city of Yiyang, eliminating Qin Shi Huang and the Chinese from the game. They also once again used the talents of Shah Jahan. This time, in an effort to impede Jayavarman's path to diplomatic victory, he helped to complete the Statue of Liberty in the city of Faro. Bless God, this time it did not bankrupt the American economy. In 1840, American troops captured their first cross-continental target, Taruga, from which they aimed to establish a beachhead. Also that year, by capturing the city of Tiryns, American forces eliminated Gorgo and the Greeks from the game. She was a worthy opponent who significantly slowed our aims at world conquest, but we were now masters of the continent. With no one left to fight us, we won the military emergency against us to free Sparta. In 1842, American troops captured Mogadishu. We had a base in Taruga on the New World continent. The closest power to it was Norway. We had been building up our troops in the vicinity, and that drew Harold's attention. It was time. In 1846, America recruited the talents of the great engineer Sergei Korolev. In 1848, America sent a rocket to the moon. Moments later, Sergei Korolev used his talents to send up a rocket and established a colony on Mars. That same year, American forces fighting overseas captured the Norwegian city of Skien. For the information era, as we were leading the way to space, which was our primary objective, we chose the automaton warfare dedication to speed along our path toward world domination. In 1852, with the discovery of optimization imperative, America chose its Tier 4 government and became a synthetic technocracy. That same year, American troops captured the Norwegian city of Oslo. A sizable force of American troops crossed the Rheic Ocean prepared to strike the Colombian mainland. In 1856, American troops captured the city of Khmer. 2 years later, they captured Kristiansand. 2 years after that, they captured Alesund. By 1862, the American Empire was generating obscene amounts of culture. Not tourism, mind you. Our empire was too large and unfriendly to have any hope of winning a culture victory, but the Antananarivo bonus plus Kilwa Kisawani and the collective activism policy card were adding an extra 750 culture on top of what my cities were generating. Also that year, our troops captured Bergen and Kabul. In 1864, American troops captured the Norwegian capital city of Nidaros. In 1866, they captured Stavanger. Grace Hopper might be a great admiral, but she's really a great scientist. She contributed to the technological achievements of advanced AI and telecommunications after bringing her talents to America. In 1868, American troops captured the city of Barkoi. In 1870, American troops captured the former Norwegian city, now controlled by Colombia, of Tromsø. By 1872, the eastern invasion of Colombia finally got underway in meaningful terms when forces moored off the coast finally captured the city of Santa Marta. America was now sandwiching Colombia from the east and west. That same year, forces by the Norwegian coast captured the city of Sarpsborg. Harold's empire collapsed under the weight of American guns in a matter of 30 years. They would play no more part in this game. In 1874, American troops in the new Norwegian province of America captured the Colombian-controlled former city-state of Nalanda. Continuing their occupation of Colombia's eastern coast, American troops captured the city of Popayan that same year. In 1878, they captured Cuenca, linking the western Norwegian province of the New World to the Colombian eastern coastline. Now the sun would never set on the American empire. With the discovery of smart materials in 1880, America once again hired the talents of Sergei Korolev and sent their exoplanet expedition into space. That same year, American troops captured the city of Valencia de Carabobo. They also took the city of Barinas. In 1884, American troops rushed past giant death robots and into the Colombian capital city of Bogota. With such a strong foothold in the New World, despite being at war with both Scotland and Colombia, America declared war on the Khmer with an aim of taking over the entire world. In 1888, reserve forces assaulting the Cambodian-controlled former Scottish city of Aberdeen walked in and took the city, opening a gateway to the Cambodian-controlled north. That same year, the main force of the American army fighting in Colombia captured the city of Guayaquil. Also that same year, a single giant death robot was all that was needed to capture the Scottish city of Roxburgh. A victory via a route through space was already assured, so being able to recruit Wernher von Braun this late in the game felt a bit redundant. We had yet to research off-world mission, and the way our conquest of the New World was unfolding, we'd be in charge of planet Earth before we really needed to leave it. In 1890, American troops captured Caracas. That same year, reserve forces fighting off the Scottish southern coast captured the city of Haddington. In 1892, American forces captured Quito. In 1894, they captured Cali. In 1896, that lone giant death robot that captured Roxborough captured Dumbarton. Moments later, reserves took Edinburgh. We're America. We do these kind of things. We brought Armageddon to Jerusalem and dropped the bomb on the city-state. What was left of a world that was not American looked on in horror. Shortly after that magnificent display of unrivaled firepower, American troops captured Panama and razed it to the ground. In 1898, a small group of elite forces captured the city of Neiva and ended the game for Simón Bolívar and Gran Colombia. That same year, American forces fighting along the Cambodian Scot coast also took the Cambodian-controlled Scottish city of Dundee. Also that same year, a lone death robot captured the Cambodian satellite city of Chattanooga. Once we discovered off-world mission, we made a concerted effort to colonize the far reaches of the galaxy before destroying our neighbors on Earth. In 1900 AD, we seized the smoldering ruins of Jerusalem and put it out of its misery by razing it to the ground. That same year, American troops also captured the city-state of Bandar Brunei. Beginning to make meaningful strides in their conquest of the Khmer, American troops captured the city of Rajavihara. We had been monopolizing whatever great people were left for a while now. Like I said, able to build laser stations in Baltimore in one turn, we made a meaningful effort to colonize space. In 1901, American forces captured the Scottish city of Ayr. Seconds later, they captured the Scottish capital city of Stirling, ending the game for Robert the Bruce and the Scottish. That same year, we dropped the bomb again, this time on the Cambodian island city of Hariharalaya. The American fleet moved in on the ruined city and promptly razed it to the ground. That same year, American forces captured Yasodharapura. And you know what? Doing one better than the real America, we dropped the bomb yet again, this time on the Cambodian city of Indrapura. We looked upon the ruins of Yasodharapura and decided it was not for us, so we razed it to the ground. We weren't done. That year we also captured Anshan. Over the fallout of Jerusalem, we founded Buffalo, a brand new, proper American city, built around fallout. Sorry to anyone watching who might be from Buffalo. In 1902, American forces captured Angkor Wat and the city-state of Caguana. Moments later, they captured the now demolished city of Indrapura. In 1903, American troops captured Mahendrapratap, followed shortly thereafter by Angkor Thom, ending the game for Jayavarman VII and the Khmer, and giving America a total domination victory. So, what did I learn? Gorgo and the Greeks were the strongest power in the game. Undermining their advantage and eventually defeating them was the key to victory. Their cities were strong and difficult to break down. By the time I was finished with them, I assumed other civilizations would have been strong enough to slow my aggression, and my only path to victory would have been through space. Instead, my forces overwhelmed the civilizations of the New World, which we conquered completely in just a little over 50 years. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation unique ability actually became a problem. Yes, it turned my army into an overwhelming force, but all of those units required maintenance, which kept my economy stretched for centuries, and it made outfitting all of those troops with modern technology, without the funds to upgrade them, incredibly difficult. I recently made a video about the value of the city-states. Becoming suzerain of Cahokia proved how a single city-state can be useful for reasons apart from its suzerain bonus, as having saved envoys to place there single-handedly saved my economy from falling into ruin. I rarely launch Armageddon, but every once in a while, because it's a video game, I figure why not. Every civ game is an opportunity to choose a new path and do something different. I even built the Panama Canal. But above all, I built an empire that would stand the test of time. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep making your own civilization stories, your own amazing paths through history, and I'll see you next time.